The text came on a Tuesday afternoon. I was in my studio, holding two fabric swatches and arguing with myself over whether the dining chairs in a listing needed warmth or contrast, when the family group chat lit up and my father wrote, "Don't come to your mother's birthday. The whole family doesn't want you there." That was it. No call, no warning, no fight first. Just one sentence dropped into the chat like I was a stain someone had finally decided not to cover with a tablecloth. I read it twice, then a third time. My mother said nothing. Megan said nothing. Hannah said nothing. And somehow, that silence hurt worse than the text. Because in my family, silence was never neutral. Silence was how people helped my father stay cruel without having to hear themselves join in. My name is Lauren Hayes. I'm 38 years old. I run a home staging and interior design business in Denver, Colorado. And until that day, I had spent most of my life believing that if I stayed useful enough, pleasant enough, easy enough, I could earn my way into belonging. That afternoon, I had been finalizing my mother's birthday dinner. Private room booked, menu approved, deposit paid, custom cookies ordered, seating planned. I had done all of it, like always. That was my role in the family. The daughter who made things beautiful and easy enough for everyone else to pretend they weren't difficult people. Megan got admiration. I got logistics. If the night worked, my mother glowed. My father took credit for raising a close family. And Megan somehow ended up sounding like the one with taste. If anything went wrong, it was usually my tone. That was the family math. My older sister Megan sells luxury real estate and has perfected the art of looking expensive while saying very little of substance. She was always my father's favorite because she reflected him back to himself, polished, ambitious, socially useful. Then there was me. Lauren has a little staging company. Lauren is creative. Lauren means well. Creative means well. The family words for not serious enough to threaten anyone until she stops obeying. Years ago, my father wanted me inside his real estate company, not beside him, inside it. He called it security, family alignment, common sense. I called it control, though not out loud then. When I refused, he smiled and said I always chose the hard road. Later, when my business started making real money, he offered to buy it for an amount so insulting I thought he was joking. He wasn't. When I turned that down, the comments sharpened. That little hobby won't last forever. You'd be safer under real leadership. Some women confuse busy with successful. My mother's answer to all of it was always the same. Just keep the peace, honey. People like calling women like my mother peacekeepers, but that word is too kind. A real peacekeeper interrupts harm. My mother specialized in managing the reaction to harm. If my father cut, she handed me a towel and asked me not to bleed on the furniture. So when that text came through, something inside me knew immediately it wasn't just about a birthday. It was punishment. For saying no too many times, for not folding, for building a life outside his reach and expecting to still be treated like family. I stood there for maybe 30 seconds with my phone in my hand and my heart beating so hard I could feel it in my throat. Then one of the ceramic sample plates slipped from my other hand and shattered on the concrete floor. My assistant asked if I was okay. I said yes. That was the first lie. By the time I got home, I had already canceled the room, lost the deposit, canceled the cookies, canceled the flowers. I didn't ask what I had done. I didn't text back in anger. For once in my life, I went quiet before they told me to. Michael found me sitting at the kitchen island with my coat still on and my phone face down in front of me. He read the message and didn't try to soften it. He just asked, "What do you want to do?" I laughed, a small, cracked sound, and said,
I think I want to stop auditioning for people who already decided not to cast me. He stood beside me and said, then don't go back on stage. That Friday, my mother's birthday happened without me. I know because the photos still surfaced. Megan dropped one into the group chat and unsent it, but not before I saw it. The centerpiece wrong, the cake cheap, the spacing off, my mother's smile strained, and someone in the corner clearly wondering, where's Lauren? That was the first quiet payoff. Remove the person doing all the invisible work, and suddenly everyone notices what's missing. The next morning, Megan texted like nothing had happened. Dad was stressed. Mom was disappointed you didn't come. As if the message had never existed. As if reality in my family was always whatever version cost her the least. My mother called and asked if we could just move on.
When I asked if she wanted me there, she went quiet. That was answer enough. A week later, my younger sister Hannah told me the truth. There was no family decision. My father made it up. He thought I'd call, apologize, fold like always. And hearing that broke something open in me. When I asked if she wanted me there, she went quiet. That was answer enough. A week later, my younger sister Hannah told me the truth. There was no family decision. My father made it up. He thought I'd call, apologize, fold like always. And hearing that broke something open in me. Not because it was new, but because it was finally said out loud. That night, sitting on the cold garage floor, I told Michael maybe I was the problem. He looked at me and asked the only question that mattered. What do you want now? And for the first time, I let that question stay. Over the next month, I stopped playing my role. I stopped showing up where I was only valued when I made things easier. I focused on my work, grew my business, built something that was mine. And then we left. New house, new city, new life. Smaller, quieter, but finally mine. My family still reaches out. Soft messages, polished messages, half apologies that circle but never land. But I don't need them to change anymore. Because I did. I didn't scream. I didn't fight. I didn't demand they see me. I just stepped away. And that was my quiet revenge. Not on them. On the version of me who kept asking to be chosen in rooms where I was only valued when I was useful. Now, when I stand in my kitchen and hear my children laughing in a house no one has ever used against me, I understand something I didn't before. Real love does not ask you to disappear. And if love costs your dignity, it was never love.